crazy.
Oh, my God, this is going to get great.
How are you? Wow.
How are you?
Well, look what we got here.
He just said, here comes Dennis Hoff. I'm like, Dennis, you look great.
Well, I really have figured out that operation, Dennis.
How you doing?
Hey, Dennis Hoff.
Take a seat right there.
Scott Thorson, how are you?
Scott,
wow,
how you doing?
Kind of look like Liberace. That's creepy.
Hello.
Amazing. That's kind of creepy. What's up, Dennis? Where you want the young lady? You want her on the couch for now? What do you want?
Phone's off. Chrissy, come on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
She's the reason he got out of jail.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah?
She saw the show and had some compassion.
Oh,
I
yeah?
had a little compassion.
Wait, I'm very confused. So Scott Thorson was in jail recently? For what?
For being a bad boy.
Oh,
basically drugs, messing around with some credit cards and stuff.
Your credit card thing's gonna. What are you gonna do?
It happens, right, Scott?
Good, man.
It happens every day.
Yeah, having
She's
fun.
a University of Michigan cheerleader.
Yeah, huh?
Just joined
Yeah,
us.
I graduated a year ago, and
You graduated a year ago from University of Michigan.
And
Hi, Scott.
We got to get a mic on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, we need a mic on.
Get a mic on her.
Huh?
That's the reason why you put parental controls on your TV.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you have a daughter and you don't want her working for Dennis, just block HBO.
Block HBO. Oh, so you saw the HBO show
Yes.
At 15.
at 15.
15 years old. I you know what? It had a lot of sex in it, but I was a fan of the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
It had a good storyline.
I read the magazine for the
It really
articles.
did have a good storyline. Like the Menage a Trois episode was a really good episode. I
It's a hell of a storyline,
Could,
right?
could someone get Scott's mic done here? It's like Liberace's dick. It needs a pump up.
Exactly.
It keeps going limp in front of your face there.
Now, Scott, this is uncensored, so you can say whatever you want. Finally, you can say what you want.
Feel
Finally,
free.
you can say.
Wait, I need to know. So Scott Thorson's in jail. And then you were the one that got to Dennis Hoff to get him to bail him out?
Yeah, Suzette and I saw the movie, and
The madam.
yeah,
Sweet.
we felt bad for him.
And the next
Let's
thing,
go rescue this guy.
and then so they came to me the next morning and said, we got to play Captain Save Liberace's lover.
Right,
and
right.
And I'm like, no. And then the next thing you know, she's blowing me. And I'm saying,
He's like, okay, I'll save him,
yes.
I'll save him,
That's
I'll
a
save
great
him.
way to
I'll look into
convince
it.
the guy.
I'll look into it.
He
So,
said yes right away. It wasn't too hard to convince.
so I hire David Houston, who keeps Joe Francis out of jail. He's not doing a good job right now.
No, not right now, huh?
But so we checked into it and said, you know what? If it was anybody else, he probably wouldn't have been in jail. And the bottom line is, he's a guy that's been hooked up with Liberace. Liberace and him were fucking for years and years, and he got into a lot of drugs, and I mean, like a pound of cocaine at a time. I mean, kind of stuff. And so we Skyped him, and we decided to take the risk, and it's a wise investment.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you owe all
Now,
the
have you
Dennis.
guys seen
He
the movie?
had the money.
Yeah, we loved it.
The movie's amazing,
What
isn't
did
it?
what did you think? Did you think of Matt Damon playing you? I thought he was fantastic.
Excellent.
Oh, you were happy?
Yeah.
Very happy. The movie's #1. It's the #1 movie since 2004. It's the
For HBO.
for HBO.
Oh, it did crazy numbers.
What do you think about Matt Damon pounding Mike Douglas?
Wow. I'm a fan of both. I like them more now. I thought that was great. Is that how
He
you
sure gave him a pounding, huh? Catherine's got to be jealous.
Was anything like what you did to Liberace?
Well, I didn't do it quite that hard. He was a little older, you know.
Yeah. At the time.
Was that true though? Was he really like? Because that might have saved your life. Like the fact that he wanted you wanted to fuck him and you didn't want him to fuck.
Yeah, he didn't fuck me and I didn't fuck him.
He just
Oh, you
blew
didn't
you.
fuck him.
He blew you, though, right?
He blew me.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Wait, what?
Oh,
You
man.
weren't having anal sex with him? I thought you were. You were the giver.
No, I think just
He was
once.
never not there.
Oh, they copped a once.
No,
Yeah.
just once, but it was always protective sex, and I think that's the reason why I was alive. But he blew me. I never blew him though.
You never blew him? Oh, man.
You never blew Liberace?
No.
Come on. What kind of a friend are you?
He had an ugly cock. it was full of what do you call it? Silicone.
Was it? He siliconed his dick up?
Yeah.
Now how
And it was all lumpy, and he was uncut, and it was ugly.
he had an uncut, lumpy silicone cock?
And he couldn't get it hard
Oh,
because
damn.
of all the silicone.
How?
Wow.
Wait a minute.
How big was it lengthwise?
Oh, my God.
about that long.
No, was he really that long?
Yeah, he was
Are you
big.
serious? But he was Italian.
What they used to do, and in fact they did this to John Bobbitt, I think, when Ron put
But he
him in
wasn't
that
bigger
movie.
than me, though.
They cut that muscle. They cut the muscle so it just kind of hangs
under the right.
It gets a lot longer.
Well, don't they pull it out a little bit more too?
Yeah,
You got a little extra in there.
Longer. Then they
you
shoot
cut
it
the
up with
tendon,
a
and then you can
silicone.
pull it actually out to make it longer.
Yeah, like John Bobbitt, when they shot him up with all this stuff, it looked like a lumpy Red Bull can.
Man,
Really?
that's
Now it's easier. You can use the cock pumps. They work great.
right. Yeah.
And they do work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dick pump works?
But his dick was long and silicone and lumpy, which meant that it wasn't silicone properly.
And uncut. Ugh.
Oh, you don't like uncut?
Here's ugly.
Ugly, Lee's ugly dick.
When you can't pull the skin away from the head, yuck.
Oh, God. What?
TMI, Scott.
No, that's phenomenal
No,
information.
Gosh.
Just enough information.
That's
It's
JEI,
perfect.
yeah. Just enough information.
I hope Weintraub isn't listening to this.
So you and Chrissy can compare cock stories.
I hope Weintraub's eating breakfast right now while listening to this.
So he would suck your dick, and what would you do while he was sucking your dick? Just think of somebody else, or would you
just close and fantasize?
Would you really not? You never fucked him? Come on, never once? Just once?
I think once I started to, and I didn't like it.
What didn't you like about it?
I was only 16 years old. Come on.
Oh, you were
Jeez.
that young?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was young.
How did he get off then? Like, what was in it for him?
I guess he just jerked. He had
Yeah.
one of those bags that he would use. One day I caught him using it, when he came in.
What's the bag we
And he
got?
quick pulled it up and threw it in the drawer. I don't know, it was a pump bag, and he was sitting there pumping it. And I was watching. He didn't know I came in. I was watching him. That's when he had his wig off, and he threw it over the shower.
Imagine getting picked up by Liberace when you're 16.
I got to tell you a funny story.
Yeah, please.
He flushed an ounce of my cocaine, right? And I got so fucking pissed off that I chased him down. Now, this house is 17,000 square feet. Jesus. Anyway, he was running for, and I really didn't mean to, but I grabbed him by the back of the hair and I pulled the wig off. And he said, "Oh, Scott, you're such a bad boy."
There he is. You got this wig in your hand, and he's just bald.
But why did he flush your cocaine?
Because he didn't want me to have it. He said he created the monster.
And there's a great story in the film too, where you guys did. Would he really go into like buddy booths and stuff like that in these peep shows when he had all this fame?
Yeah, he would, and you would think he wouldn't do that, into these gay things, because he was always. One day we were sitting in the dressing room. He goes, "Scott, you really think I'm gay? Or do you think the people think I'm gay?" And I says, "How many guys walk on stage with 115 pounds of pink ostrich feathers?"
He was just too busy to find the right girl.
Yeah, that was it. It was always odd when he went on like the talk shows and stuff, and they're just like, "Well, Lee, you find the right lady yet?" "No, I'm still looking." And it's like anybody in their right mind would be, all right,
I used to
The
be able
women
to.
of America believed it. Like my mom believed it.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot of ladies did.
A lot of the ladies did, yeah.
Yeah, they believed
I
that.
busted their bubble, didn't I?
Yeah, you certainly did.
Yeah, with a fucking hammer.
Hammer, pound them.
What did you say you used to what? You used to what? You used to do something with him? An impression?
What was I going to say? I lost.
You used to sound like a...
Some impression thing.
Yeah, when he cut me off and threw me out.
Which was after how long? 4 years?
No, it was longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
It was longer. I don't know where they get that 5 years from. I don't understand that.
Well, how many years was it?
Well, we lived together for about 8, and then there was a relationship on and off for 17 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, he cut me off of the credit card, so, I didn't, he took all the credit cards away. They stopped everything, my checks, the whole works. So the only thing I could do was I could imitate his voice perfectly. And I knew all the stores where he had accounts, and I'd say, "Hi, this is Lee. Would you please send Scott something?" I'd load up with furniture and plants, liquor stores, you name it. And it worked.
Why did he cut you off after 17 years?
Well, because, let's face it, okay, I was 16 years old.
You were getting too old for him.
No, I think what happened was he ordered the doctor to put me on the drugs, and the doctor
Cocaine,
did.
pharmaceutical cocaine.
Right. And then when it got out of control, he said that he created a monster. So he just threw all my things that he had his manager, Seymour Heller, the Hatchet Man, I called him. Dan Aykroyd plays him too.
Yeah, that was good.
Throws my stuff off the balcony and discards me like I was some piece of trick. He didn't even offer me rehab. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. So then the film was fairly accurate.
Oh yeah. Then I sued him for palimony. I'm the granddaddy of palimony.
Yeah, that's right.
This guy's, think of this. He's a master. He grabs a 16-year-old kid, and to clean up his homosexuality, he has him go get an operation on his face to look like Liberace, and he adopted him.
Yeah. That is a weird fucking storyline there.
To throw the press off.
So he wanted then to assume that perhaps you were his son in some way, shape, or form?
Well, yeah, that's the whole idea was to throw, this is my son. Here I'm wearing, $2 million worth of jewelry. And have 32 cars and all these furs. So what he did was he threw the press off and he says, this is my son, Scott.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And were you sleeping with other people at the time, and was he, or were you?
No, just Michael Jackson.
Now, did you really sleep with Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, I met Michael in the mid-'70s, and I was introduced to him by Liberace, and we just had a great relationship. Lee and I broke up in '82. So Michael asked if I would come and work for him. So this is when he was breaking up with the Jacksons, his brothers, and he went solo. And this is when Thriller came in, and then we went to Europe and we did Say Say with Paul McCartney, big hit and all that. And we just hit it off. Michael fell in love with me. I was a pretty boy back then.
Were you the giver or the getter there?
No, he was the giver.
Michael was?
Michael was, yeah.
He was the giver?
Yeah.
No, wait,
I was very, something, and I'm glad that I was that way because of the AIDS epidemic back then. I mean, it was bad. Rock Hudson, and, I saw Rock a week before he died. Wow. Lee and I went over to see him because Rock and him used to fool around years ago.
Oh, boy.
And then they'd have all the sex parties over there. Boys.
How long did you know Michael before it became sexual or became apparent that he wanted to be sexual with you?
Well, it wasn't until 82, and then we were together until about 85, and then when he started getting really big, he decided that, we better cool this, and then I went my way.
Did you guys do a family road trip with plastic surgery or something?
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you the funny story. Liberace had a full facelift. I had my cheek implants and the chin. And Michael wants to get his nose done. No, wait, I back up. I had gotten my nose done, and Michael loved it. And he hated his nose because it was wide and looked like Joseph. He reminded him of his father. And Michael didn't have a good relationship with Joseph. So all three of us are bandaged up in the back seat of the limo Rolls Royce that Lee drives on stage, going to Palm Springs, and then that crazy doctor which Rob Lowe plays.
Right, that was great.
We're shooting us up full of Demerol and pharmaceutical cocaine and biphetamines, and this is how Michael starts his plastic surgery and starts the drug addiction by pharmaceutical drugs.
Wait, can I ask about the Michael Jackson thing? Did the family ever try to sue you or anything? Because obviously...
Let me tell you, when I released this article in 2004, Alan Butterfield, the editor of the National Enquirer, flew in two experts and FBI agents and did polygraph tests on me. I passed two polygraph tests. One was offered to Michael because they were protesting on it. Michael refused to do it. The Jacksons have never come after me. Now, of course, they say, oh, no, it's not true. But, I mean, I've never been sued. I did hear from the attorneys in the beginning, and then they backed off once the lie detectors came in. And then when Michael refused, they told Michael not to do it, obviously, because Michael It was true.
Right. And what do you...
And this goes way back. Liberace called me a fucking liar, a disgruntled employee. I was a hustler. I was a porn star. I walked the streets of Hollywood, and I had, I was nothing but a liar. They even paid my brother, Wayne, who passed away, my half-brother, over $20,000 to testify and make up stories about me. They were just a piece of shit back then.
Right. I got one more question. What do you think of Michael and the kid thing? Your opinion?
Yeah, it's not. Those aren't Michael's kids.
No. Michael with the allegations.
Oh, no. Michael didn't do that. No.
See, a lot of people say it was just that he never really grew up and just felt more comfortable hanging out with younger people.
Michael would never do that. He was acquitted for
Interesting.
it. It was this kid. The kid, I forget the kid's name, but the uncle is the one that got the $20 million from Michael, and so Michael decided, and this came right from Michael. He was afraid, so he paid this guy $20 million because he was going to expose him.
Expose him as
a child molester. So Michael paid him off.
But if Michael wasn't a molester, what was he scared of?
Well, he didn't want the bad publicity. Because
That
that's
made
just
him
like
look
Liberace didn't want the bad publicity about me being 16 years old. We settled out of court and all that.
Oh, you did settle?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't. Today you go to prison. I mean,
now
cocaine,
would have.
banging a 16-year-old. How about you go to jail for a while?
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing about I go to trial or I go to sentencing July 3rd, and David Houston, my attorney. Thankful to Mr. Huff here, the best criminal attorney there is, had a 2.5-hour meeting with the prosecutors. And that was the time when I had Entertainment Tonight come into the jail and they interviewed me and we talked about, and then I broke up. I got very emotional about it. But they feel that I'm a victim too. And they said to Mr. Houston that, Scott doesn't deserve to go to prison.
What was it that scared you or got you emotional? Like, what would they just...
Well, I think part of, I don't think anybody sets out to be an addict in life, and then you normally do things that you would not do. And again, I apologize for what happened in Reno, and I apologize to the courts and the prosecutors and whatever the expenses are, the court fees I will pay, and make my apology to Judge
you know what? I'm having a hard time getting my head around Michael being a giver.
That really did sound a little...
Give me this again. Michael was the giver.
Yeah, he was, seriously.
He wasn't, he was more of a top than a bottom. That is an odd thing. That struck me as odd, too.
I figured he'd be a wimpy little...
I know. I have to change
too.
everything I think of now when I jerk off.
But, he got into oral sex and all that. But, he had a crush on me. I was young. And then I got all the pictures to back it up when Michael and I were at Lord Montague's, and, at Buckingham Palace. And I'll tell you a funny thing that Michael and I did. Outside the Queen's, castle, these guards stand straight. They're not supposed to move.
Yeah.
So what we did was we kept putting we put about $5,000 on the bayonets, and we kept loading it up with money and pounds and all that. And we said, now you can keep this, but we need a picture. And sure enough, he moved and he grabbed the money. And they're not supposed to do that. And I sold it to the National Enquirer for $10,000 too. So I got back the money.
When you guys was Liberace were you guys like gay swingers? Were you partying with other people?
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy, big sex parties. Rock Hudson, Larry Gatlin. Loretta Lynn.
Larry Gatlin.
I had a fling with Loretta Lynn, too.
Really?
She loved to smoke pot back then.
Yeah.
And she got me so fucked up she was playing the Riviera. I think it was 79 or 80. I forget what year it was. But I like Loretta, the queen of country.
Well, was she good?
Yeah, I liked
Was
her.
Michael good?
Michael, no, he had a small dick.
Did he really?
Yeah, for a
So
black
Liberace
guy, huh?
and Michael were both bad in bed. Liberace and Michael were both bad
I wasn't
in bed.
really into it then. I was,
Which one was more of a kisser, Liberace or Michael?
Well, I wouldn't let him kiss me.
You guys had a pretty good makeout scene in the movie, though. You guys had a pretty good makeout scene in the movie.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Come on, did you never made out with Liberace? You had to have in 17.
And if so, was he a good kisser?
No, I wouldn't. No, I didn't. He didn't tongue me.
Not even pecks every now and then?
I was more straight laced. I said, well, figure out, he can blow me, and then all these Rolls Royces and all that. God, I've got a $10 million cock.
It's been in a lot of places.
Hey, listen, it's made me a good living.
Apparently so. Yeah. That's so no kissing. When you guys would go out, would he take you out and would you be like a couple in public?
Yeah.
How is that explained?
Well, he dressed me. I mean, he was really weird.
The sun thing again.
The guy before me, Vince Cardell.
Right.
Same costumes he designed. Piano ring, candelabra ring. The same thing. I mean, and then the same thing with me with
what about cock
the furs. Oh yeah, rhinestone cock rings. Can you imagine swallowing one of those? Boy,
but he took you out as a son or as a couple.
No, it was he wanted me strictly for a lover, but again. The reason why he said son, well, he did say, he says, well, you're always the son that I've always wanted. But there were good times, there were bad times. For the most part, he was so fucked up because he grew up in the age where, homosexuality would have ruined his career. Let's face it, from 50 to 59, he had the #1 show. He beat I Love Lucy was the #1. She had the best ratings and he beat her. Wow. So you're talking, he came up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, big star over 40 years, being this huge legend, Mr. Showmanship. It would have ruined his career. The same thing, well, look what Rock went through. That was a very well kept secret in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that would have, can you imagine?
They just didn't talk back then.
No, they didn't. No.
That's the answer to your question. The media, they had to have known, but they...
Well, they did.
It was
look,
a different time.
Don't forget, sued the press in London and won a big judgment. And now, here's the funny thing. I think it was the Daily Mirror or something.
Right.
I forget what it was. They want to sue the estate now because they found out that he was gay and AIDS and all that, and he lied.
Yeah.
These guys were poster boys for NAMBLA. Imagine. Think about it, right?
Yeah, that is a little. Now, if you fuck a 16-year-old,
oh God,
you're gone.
You're finished.
Right.
You're gone.
It's amazing how.
And that's what the district attorney. She says, Mr. Thorson doesn't deserve prison. She really was upset when she saw and what I went through and all that. Because Liberace is very well respected in Nevada. Everybody loved him, and now
a lot of money.
Now, well, he brought in all the high rollers.
Sure.
And now, it's funny how I'm a strong believer in karma, how everything is coming around, because back then I was this liar, this disgruntled employee, and now the whole world has taken my side on this. The movie is #1.
Yeah.
My book is the #5 on the New York Times bestseller list. Every European country has picked it up now, including Hong Kong and Japan. They predict it to win the best foreign film, which is equivalent to the Oscar here, and they expect it to win the Emmy here, and then Douglas, and then the makeup. Look at Debbie Reynolds; you never recognized her playing Frances Liberace.
Right.
This
is the highest rated movie HBO's done since 2004.
It was very anticipated. People,
here's
when it came out, people wanted to see it.
The movie theaters in America didn't have the balls to do this. They all said, "We're not buying this," and now it comes out, and now it's going to be in the movie theaters around the world.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
So is that going to change the mentality in America?
Sure.
about a gift.
Hey, Scott,
you got us a gift? What'd you bring us? Oh, you have a gift, Opie.
Scott, about your book, as you open that up, did you write about Michael Jackson in the book?
No, I'm saving it for. We're having the next book is going to be called Beyond the Candelabra. It'll be out in about 6 to 8 weeks.
And it'll be all the stuff that happened to you.
Yeah.
I can tell whether Larry Gatlin was the top or a bottom.
I want to know that.
It is amazing how that I really wanted to know about Michael Jackson's penis. Oh, thanks, man. Thank
He
you.
looks like he'd be small, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
Take
bud.
one and pass it down.
So,
Wow.
I think
Nice.
I only bought 3 guys, so you guys got to
Thank
fight
you.
over it.
So the book is called. Sorry, Dennis. The book is called Behind the Candelabra: My Life with Liberace.
Sure.
And it's by Scott. And there's a new afterword written by Scott. Wow, that's just great, man.
Man, they really did.
well,
Like-
here's stuff that's not in there though. That's going to make the new book. Scott was involved in the Wonderland murders.
Right, yeah.
With John Holmes.
That's
What
the
did
John Holmes
Yeah,
thing.
and then I got gunned down and shot. The contract place. I mean, I was shot 5 times.
So
When you
let's go with Wonderland. You knew
Jesus.
John Holmes, or who you were there with John? or-
I knew them all. I knew. Well, here's what happened. In '81, I took some of my money and I invested it in with Nash because he owned a bunch of nightclubs.
Eddie Nash.
Yeah, so he owned like 15 Kit Kat clubs. You know where the girls would come down in the cage, the strippers, and then Club Hollywood, Starwood, Seven Seas Club Hollywood, the Odyssey. Anyway, to make a long story short, is that Holmes. We would party with Holmes up there at Nash's place. Nash hooks Holmes on crack cocaine. The plastic surgeon, my plastic surgeon, or Liberace's plastic surgeon, shoots himself in the head. So I
Wait,
needed
the Rob Lowe character shot himself?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Jeez,
I
didn't know that.
needed a new drug supplier. Well, Nash brought in all the heroin, cocaine, plus he had Mayor Bradley, Tom Bradley, on his payroll, a couple DEA agents. Anyway, Holmes sets up the robbery, leaves the back door open. They come in there and they stick a gun down Eddie Nash's throat and make him beg. And they took over $1 million worth of drugs, cash, and jewelry. Well, I'm in Tahoe. We're performing at the Sahara Tahoe. I take a Learjet back to pick up a pound of cocaine and some cash because I was collecting from the clubs. Well, in walks, he just had the robbery, maybe a couple hours before I got there. Well, when I come there, Gregory Dials, his black bodyguard, brings in Holmes, and they find out that Holmes set up the robbery, and they beat the shit out of Holmes, and they ordered, and I was there when Nash gave the orders to have these people killed, and they used Liberace's Bill Blass Lincoln to drive Holmes up there, and he participated in some of the killings up there. John
Wow.
did.
Now, what was the killing? There was the robbery, and then what happened? And can you walk us through that? Because there was Eddie Nash's house was robbed.
Yeah, it
which
was
Holmes set up.
robbed. And then, so what they did was they found out who was responsible.
Oh, the actual burglar.
And then they were called the Wonderland Gang. Okay, up in Laurel Canyon, there's a street called the Wonderland Avenue. So that's why it's called the Wonderland Killings, Laurel Canyon. And so they ordered, Nash ordered these people executed, and they actually killed the wrong people. One guy was there, but they killed all the girlfriends. You know, so they killed 4 girls and 1 guy, or was it 3 girls and 1 guy? And then there was a count of attempted murder. So there was 4 counts of first degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Well, you know, the famous homicide detective that handled this case, that handled OJ, that fucked up OJ's case, Tom Lang.
Oh, wow, that was him?
Yeah. And so anyway, to make a long story, I testified. Nash puts a contract on me because he starts smoking that crack and gets all paranoid. And the next thing you know, I have a contract placed on me. I go to Florida, and I get gunned down and shot. So I testified. Nash gets a hold of one of the members of the jury. 11 of them came back with guilty plea, found them guilty. 1 was not guilty. Then back in 99, the feds then decided we're going to go after him for money laundering, racketeering. So they brought the murders back because normally you can't double jeopardy. You can't do that. But anyway, he testified, or they did a deal with him. He pled guilty to conspiracy to commit murder. on the Laurel Canyon, and also for jury tampering. The one lady that I told Dale Davidson and all the other district attorney and the U.S. attorneys that he got to me. And so there was a jury fraud, and then $250,000 fine. He only spent 33 months in prison.
That's it, huh?
Wow.
Can I ask where you were when you got shot? You said you were in Florida. Like,
Yeah,
what was happening?
happened there?
What was that moment like? What were you doing?
Well, what happened was I went on the Federal Witness Protection Program, and I was so fucking bored. I mean, these guys, they take you to the loony bin. I mean, way out in the sticks. I mean, come on with my life. So what I started doing was running cocaine, and the perfect thing I could do was running it with the federal marshals in their car and going through the airport. They never checked me. And then I became a preacher. I did the Billy Graham. I did the Pat Robertson. I became, I said, the horrible sins of Hollywood, and they ate it up. They loved it. And then
Were you being sincere?
Huh?
Were you being sincere?
For a while. Then after I found out how the politics in those fucking churches, I mean, they were horrible. Especially some of
this now. He goes on the witness protection program, right? So nobody can find you and kill you. Well, he gets 5 bullets in him, right? And then he decides, well, I kind of like the celebrity thing of Liberace, so I'll just be a minister.
Yeah, but I want to know about the day you got shot.
Yeah, what were you doing in that moment?
What were you doing where you were
shot?
surprised, like, oh, fuck, they found
I
me?
was in a hotel
Right.
in Jacksonville, Florida, and they come in, they shoot me in the hand here, because I put my hand up, and it went through here and came out there.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
And then right above the left nipple, they shot me, penetrated the heart, and then I took 3 bullets through the abdomen.
Wow.
With a 38, up close, right from where Dennis. But, I kept getting up. I was pretty big back then. And I managed to break one of them there, kept fighting. And then finally I said, I better lay down. I was running out of blood then.
Oh, fuck.
So you got shot in the head, the heart, and 3 times in the stomach.
Yeah.
And what kind of abdomen damage did it do? Because the stomach seems like
Oh,
motherfucker.
Well, the big thing was I was paralyzed. It went into my spine. And then I became paralyzed. And then the doctors only gave me about 2% chance to live that day. And then I became, I died, and they brought me back after like almost 15 minutes. I was pronounced dead.
Wow. What did you see? Anything?
And
Did you see the light?
No. I saw the devil. I saw Liberace big cock tormenting me.
The big lumpy.
No, but anyway, but I had to learn how to talk and walk and eat again, because I went into a coma. And then they couldn't, when they were cutting me open, they only paralyzed me so I wouldn't move because my blood pressure was so low. So I felt all that cutting through the bones and pulling and ripping. So, I mean, this is what, makes movies and books.
So did Liberace blow John Holmes? Come on.
I don't know, but I mean, God, how the fuck could you fit 12 inches down your throat? Could you do that? Could you do that, Chrissy? Can you fit 12 inches?
I don't know. I've never
you
had
been-
12 inches inside my mouth. That's really big.
I know.
Don't make me sound inadequate, okay?
You are far from inadequate. 12 inches is just too big, though, and that's scary looking.
Is that how big is
As Liberace would say, too much of a good thing is wonderful.
Anything over 9 is too big, I think.
Yeah.
Mine's good.
A 9's a good length,
I'm 9
Dennis.
inches,
Isn't
at
it,
least.
Dennis? Dennis, 9's a great length, isn't it?
Wow.
Thumbs
Anything
up
over
from
9
Dennis.
is just, it's just too
Hey,
big.
Scott, we noticed that you're wearing a lot of jewelry.
Yeah.
Whose is that?
That's some of the gifts that Liberace gave me.
That's why I was wondering. It looks like it was.
These are some of the ones that I didn't pawn.
Yeah.
And they threw me out.
So you were worth a lot of money at one point after Liberace, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
But you see, the Nash got it all. Well, no, the federal government got it all, because when Nash, the killings, they cracked down. They closed every fucking club. They took the property for income tax, IRS.
Yeah, there was no way you were getting your money from them.
No.
And you went
like
through,
that.
and you obviously went through a lot of your money.
Oh, well, yeah.
Did you behave fiscally irresponsibly?
I was irresponsible. Well, come on. You got to realize.
Really.
You got to realize, all those years with Lee, and Lee, I mean, he'd spend $1 million a week on me. I mean, buying me homes and furniture. And we were in Buffalo, New York, and Lee comes out, Yeah, or no, the manager that owns the theater there, he had a beautiful 1962 Silver Cloud Rolls Royce, all gold and with black tinted. I said, "Oh, I love that." Well, my 21st birthday was the following week. Well, Liberace brought Baron Hilton had designed he took the garage out and made a big casino out of there. But anyway, before he took the doors off, he had that car in there with a big box and ribbon on there, and then a little box that had the gold Rolls Royce key in there. And I mean, he was a very generous man.
Oh man.
Can I ask you,
He was loaded, man. How much money did Liberace have?
$250 million estate, counting cash and real estate.
Wow.
Was it true that Hilton put a casino in your house to try to get some of his money back?
Well, they brought the casino. Well, the main reason why Baron supplied it with the slot machines and the roulette tables was because of Frances Liberace. She had a horrible habit of hitting people with a cane. And they were afraid of lawsuits. So what they did was Baron loaded the casino, all the slots and the roulette tables and all that. So we had a private casino. It was a beautiful home. Actually, he built that house for me. It was 5-track. He bought the whole block. And it was a 17,000 square foot palace. That's nothing but glass and mirror. It was absolutely gorgeous. You know, where they filmed all this was at Zsa Zsa Gabor's house. That was,
wow. At Zsa Zsa's house? That was pretty impressive, too.
Did you get to see her? She's, down to her head?
Yeah. They cut her leg off.
Yeah. Oh, they're taking a body part every other year.
I think her husband's just waiting for that day to go.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to load up on everything.
He's amazed that she's lasted this long.
I don't doubt it.
She's 93, 94 years old.
Yeah.
But, she and Zsa Zsa was the bitch. You know who was the nicest one was Ava. Ava was so nice. She'd come in with Merv Griffin. What another queen that guy was. Merv was? Oh, my God. Well, he loved Ava Gabor, and that was his front. If she made all the public appearances, while he was, at home sucking cock, and But I mean, Merv.
Did you guys ever party with him?
Well, Merv was one. Oh yeah, he'd bring his little boy in and do the thing.
Do swappies and all that.
But that's
Did
why
Merv ever suck your penis?
Ava Gabor.
Did Merv ever suck your penis?
No, but he could have. I mean, he was low. He was more loaded than Liberace.
Was it? What happened to Liberace's house? Is it still there?
Yeah, they have it up for sale. They're trying to sell it for $375,000 now. He put over $2 million in that.
That's it?
$375 grand.
Yeah, but he built it in the $50,000 neighborhood.
Oh shit! Okay.
It's like a ghetto
And now it's a drug-ridden area.
Wow! With
The museum. Now here's a great idea.
Wait! Liberace's house is in a bad. I never knew that. It was always in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah, 4982 Shirley Street. It's right off of Tropicana, across the street from the university there. All bad area now. It's drug. And then the museum is on Tropicana, right below Maryland Parkway. I'm the one that put that museum together in '78. I took everything out of the houses and put it together. We bought the shopping center. Of course, when we broke up, he took all the pictures of me out of the museum.
What? Can I ask you an odd question about what?
But now, excuse me. But now the museum is bankrupt. See, karma goes around. Now it's bankrupt. Now they were hoping that this movie would be successful. So what I would like to do is, Dennis and I talking about this is, boy, what a great idea that would be. Dennis has got 22 acres out there, horse stables. He's got a gym, $2 million gym out there. He's got this beautiful bunny ranch. Put the Liberace, now that he's got a history with me, put the museum out there. I could tell the stories. Then we can get a reality show. Scott Thorson at the Bunny Ranch with I'll put on a pink outfit.
I want to see you in your pool boy outfit.
I'm going to make you a bunny boy.
I want to make
I'll
him
be
a
the
pool
bunny
boy.
boy. Or either he can start pimping me out. I mean, hey, come to the Bunny Ranch and spend the night with Chrissy and a couple of the other girls, and maybe he can get $100,000, and I'll give him 50% of it. I mean, come on.
Scott Thorson is available. If it's good enough for Liberace, it's good enough for you.
All you people out there, if you want me, I'm available at the Bunny Ranch.
He's hot and ready.
Where are you living right now? You living out there with
I'm
Dennis?
living with Dennis, yeah.
Yeah, we're keeping kind of a short leash on him because I got him out without any restrictions, which is unheard of.
Right.
And no travel restrictions, no drug testing, anything. So we're doing it all ourselves.
Right.
That's drug testing.
How long has he been out?
He's been out 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
And
tomorrow.
what a difference! I mean, everybody. Now I go out to when I get to the hotel, there's paparazzi, people with pictures, autograph.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. And we've been, we did the Today Show, we did the Barbara Walters Show, we did E! Entertainment,
everything. Showbiz Tonight, Joy
Showbiz
Behar.
Tonight, special or Inside Edition, and I mean, it's just been
You want to have some fun tomorrow?
going,
Set your
going.
TiVo for The View.
Oh,
Seeing
yeah,
Barbara
that's- Oh, you did The
Walters
View?
dealing with Scott Thorson
Yeah.
and the homosexual issue.
Yeah.
It was a trip. We got
man.
an 88,000-year-old chick trying to deal with homosexuality.
She called Dennis his benevolent.
Yeah.
Did she believe you? Was Barbara Walters confrontational?
No. She felt that I was the victim.
Okay,
So
she
did
did.
Whoopi Goldberg. They were both. They both pulled me aside and they says, "Look, we really hope you stay clean this time, and congratulations." And especially Whoopi, she was wonderful.
Yeah,
She
she's
says,
really nice.
What would you say the nicest thing Liberace did for you was? Because you said he was generous. And there was good times.
Well, I mean, giving me this life. I mean, I've made a good living, and now, I own a percentage of that film. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon, once we count all these boxed, that's if they don't pad the bills.
Well, they will.
These
Yeah.
You know they will.
Well,
Yeah, distribution fees
They
and-
really can't do.
They're
the
hidden
movie was
fees.
20. The movie was 20. The cost of the movie was $23 million. Okay, now it's in every foreign country. Originally, it was only going to be in England and France. Now it's in every foreign country, including Hong Kong and Japan, and they expect. I mean, Italy, they love it because Liberace his father was Salvador Liberace, and he was from Sicily. So I mean, Italy is going. I just did a big spread with Vanity Fair Italy, and they must have spent $20,000 on this photo spread. I mean, they did it at Jack Studios. It was wonderful, and they catered. They sent limousines, and they really spent a lot of money on this.
What do you think? What do you think? I was watching the movie. What do you think Liberace would think if he saw, if he knew that all this information was now out there?
Well, I think he's probably smiling right now. I mean, because
I kind of hope there's an afterlife, so I can video, see TMZ video the two of them hooking up again.
Yeah, or just getting together and explaining yourself. Like, well, I was broken. Talking about.
well, I'm supposed to. When I die, I'm supposed to be buried in the tomb with him. He's out at Forest Lawn there in Burbank. Big, beautiful. I guess they call it mausoleum.
Mausoleum. Yeah.
Mausoleum.
Wow.
You still got that deal where that's where you'll be buried, you think? Or
I don't think so.
I know.
What was it? Oh, not so fast, Scott.
How long were you in jail?
I was in jail 99 days.
Oh, okay.
And here's the thing that really pissed me off the most about this is my business manager Oliver contacted Weintraub, and he says find me all the bail information, do this and do that. And then he called my manager up and says, well, we really not going to do this because we don't want to get involved with Scott and let everybody know that he's a part of this film. I said, what a dumb fuck. It's I says, how can he say that when I wrote the book? I own a percentage of the film. It's my life story. It isn't his fucking life story. Yeah, he bought the motion picture rights, but I mean, it pissed me off a little bit. Well, and Hollywood turned their back on me, Damon and Doug, all of them did. And if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have this fantastic movie and probably going to be winning Oscars and all this. And then on top of it, being paid all these millions because Damon and Douglas, they're not cheap. But I owe him all my my gratitude goes to Dennis, you know. And you know, everybody says, well, why did you do this? You know, Dennis is a businessman. You know, I says, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. We do the PR. He got me out.
Hey, wait, did you never met Matt Damon?
Hey, listen, come on. Look I got him trained already. He's dressing like Pink.
You got the same shirt on today, Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you meet Matt or no?
I haven't met any of them.
Guys,
why wouldn't Matt Damon want to talk to you?
They didn't even let me on the set. They wouldn't let me.
I would think he would want to talk to you.
Spend some time with you, so he's got it right.
Weintraub told me when I called, he says, no. He says, I says, can you hire me as an advisor? Because you would think if you're playing someone's life, you would want to meet that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Weintraub says, I don't want you near the set. And he says, you cannot meet Michael Douglas or Matt Damon. So what I did was I called Alan Butterfield and I blasted him. Well, about a month later, who calls? Jerry Weintraub. He says, no more bad publicity. He says, I'm going to fly you into Hollywood and you're going to at HBO and see a private screening of this.
Was Michael Douglas and Matt Damon a little too comfortable in those roles for you?
Yeah, it was,
I have to question these guys.
I think they did good because they made it look very believable. So I think
they certainly did.
They're either really good actors or, you know, might have a touch.
It only took them one shot to do that.
Well, you know, what a daring role.
Yeah.
When you stop and think about it, the nude scenes, and then pounding Michael Douglas. I bet you Catherine says, I wonder what she's thinking, you know?
I bet she's saying, I wish Michael Douglas would pound me that hard.
Next time I see Catherine Zeta-Jones, I'm going to ask her if I can pound Michael that hard. I bet she'd let me because since he came out and saying that, you know, she gave him, I guess, because he got cancer from oral sex.
Oral sex.
HPV,
Boy, I'd divorce that son of a bitch, wouldn't you?
Right.
He backed off that whole thing
you think.
immediately.
I wonder why.
I'm sure she gave him a talking to.
Well,
I got to ask you about Liberace. There's rumors that he tried to have you killed after you left.
Well, let me just say this. I was beat up pretty bad in the penthouse. This was done by Seymour Heller. I was also threatened that if I went to the press, that I would disappear in Las Vegas. Oh. But, you know, I had balls back then. I mean, here's a big, powerful man.
Around Michael's chin.
And, you know, Baron Hilton of the Hilton hotels and all that.
Right.
You know, they told me to stay out of Vegas. And that's one of the reasons why he even took my house back that he got me out there. He says, well, I'll give you $75,000 for it.
Wow.
He said, but you're not coming out here. I went out there anyway. I terrorized. I used to throw eggs at his house.
Wait. But you got beat up in the penthouse.
Yeah.
Whose penthouse?
Well, on Beverly Boulevard, you know, right down. It's right before Fairfax. It used to be Red Skelton's building. It's a big office building, and then on the fifth floor is the penthouse, and that's where we lived after we sold. He gave me the Harold Way mansion that used to belong to Rudy Valley, 50-room mansion up there.
He just gave to you.
Yeah, and I had my grandfather sell it for $1 million back in '81. What a fucking fool I was, because it's probably worth $5 million. But it was gorgeous. It's on the top of it. It's right above Sunset.
Right.
And the view on it, and the bar just wrapped around, and you can see downtown L.A. You can see Catalina. Gorgeous house. Dennis would love that. It's take two, Dennis.
When he got out of jail, we spoke by Skype.
Right.
That's the only thing we did. We got out of jail. He got out with a bunch of the girls there, Chrissy's friends, and he gave me a big hug. And he says, "Thank you so much. Oh, you don't need to thank me. I'm going to have plastic surgery done. You're going to look like me now."
But I want to know about the beating in the penthouse. Who beat you up? And that was
well, what they did was I wouldn't leave. And what they did was Heller.
That was the lawyer, right?
No, the manager.
Oh,
Liberace's longtime manager. It was a funny thing. It was Seymour Heller, Lux, and Gabby, and they had Lawrence Welk, and then Seymour. They split up, and so the other guys took Lawrence Welk, and Seymour Heller kept Liberace. So he was his hatchet man. He hired the private detectives. And this is really funny too. We're in the deposition, right? And his attorney says, "Oh my, what is this? Oh, it's a scale, and it's got traces of cocaine, and we have your fingerprints." I says, "Have you ever thought of whoever put me on that fucking drug?" I says, "You moron." Well, he stuck his foot in his own. I mean, we won.
Oh, man. How long after you got together did you go in for the surgery, for the plastic surgery?
Well, I was pretty young. I was about 17, 18.
So you were together maybe a year or so?
Yeah.
Now, what? Obviously, that's
Plastic
a pretty
surgery
big
at
step.
17.
What were you thinking?
Well, you got to realize.
Why did you agree?
You got to realize. I came from a broken home. I was in a lot of foster homes, a poor family, and then all of a sudden thrown into this wealth, and this man is showing you all the attention, the glamour, the wealth. The homes. I did everything possible to please this guy.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to be thrown out. So, I mean, if it was, letting him suck my cock or getting plastic surgery, I did it.
It seems to be pretty extreme. That's even more than like a, tat.
Right.
That's pretty extreme. I was just, it seems like something, especially after only a year of being with, being with him.
Were you
That's
insulted?
something.
No.
When he asked you?
No.
If he said you want plastic,
He took, like what Rob Lowe did. I mean, what he did, he took that portrait off the wall, and he said, "Now I want you to create him like me."
Yeah, but
Wow.
you didn't feel like, what, am I too ugly for you?
No. I was flattered, actually, because you wanted him. But I thought the good, bad, and ugly.
Before they're saying they have to go, but before they do, we got to plug properly.
Oh my God! What an
a
amazing
fascinating
45
interview.
minutes!
And
Holy fuck.
also, thanks, Dennis, man.
Really,
you
Scott.
fucking really came
Dennis.
through.
I'm just like,
Thank you.
I want to go to the
That's
Bunny
what
Ranch.
makes this a bestseller.
You need to come to the Bunny Ranch. As sick as you are.
I've never been out there.
Sick as you
my
are.
goodness.
You know why? Because Dennis is my friend, and he's offered me so many times, and it's like I just don't like to. It's like I'm weird with friends. Like,
I heard him say that on Penn's show, and I emailed Penn and said, "Fuck him. He needs to get out. You got no reason to not come now."
I know I'm single too.
What about
At
you
least
guys?
come out
you
and
guys
have
need
a
permission
drink.
slip or anything?
come out and have a drink.
married.
Exactly.
Dennis, I'm good.
Drink.
I'm good.
Do you think you'd get in trouble if you went out there for a live event?
Oh, for a live event or something.
Make that final decision. Just go to bunnyranch.com, and it's finest online shopping in the world.
Right.
BunnyRanch.com.
Are you married?
All the girls
Yeah,
up there and everything.
You
You can
divorce?
just-
No, I'm good.
500
I'd go out there and broadcast
500.
and all that shit, though.
why don't we
Fuck
do
yeah, in a
Visit-
second.
500 girls?
visit Chrissy
Why don't we do
Summers.
some type of a contest
Yeah.
and bring some listeners out? And
I would love that so much.
Remember the one guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Remember the guy back in the day?
Yeah.
He was in a miserable marriage, and oh my God, we got into some shit with Dennis.
Yeah.
And he ended up staying out there for a while. And he,
how much fun was that?
it was awesome.
Party
And his
every
wife, we got
day.
the wife on the phone, and she's like, I don't give a fuck what he does. She
You know
was
what we don't want to do? I'm going to get Scott back on with you guys before the sentence or after the sentencing,
sure.
because it's going to get pretty
I hope
heated
the
up.
judges aren't listening to this.
Well, they
I
are.
want them to. Look at if I got the drug test that you're clean, then guess what? You're going to skate on this thing. If you fuck up,
Yeah, where you at with the drugs these days? I mean, you were in jail, so it made it tougher, obviously.
Well, yeah. 6 months clean on the drugs.
Good. What was your poison recently?
Pardon me?
What was your main poison recently?
It was. Well, let me tell you. In August 2012, I was diagnosed with anal cancer.
Ow.
That killed Farrah Fawcett. So I nearly lost my life. They put me on heavy doses of chemo and radiations, and I had second and third degree burns all over my ass and balls. And it was one of the most
Holy
painful things.
fuck.
You've lived a life, sir.
And so what happened
10
was
lives.
because of the chemo, it made me so sick that I almost died, because your white count goes down and your you get every kind of disease in there because your white blood cells are destroyed, and you don't have it, and that's what fights your infections off. So I had these sores in my mouth, sores all over my head, and so it triggered. They were giving me OxyContin 80 milligrams. They were giving me synthetic heroin, which was the morphine. So it triggered my drug addiction. And then all the money the upfront money that I got on the movie, all went for my radiation, because I only had partial insurance. So I had $97,000 bill for radiation. So I mean, I was very depressed. I did some stupid things. Like I said earlier, when you're under the influence, what
a buzzkill this story is. Tell us one good story to go out on. Fuck you.
Wait, where you at?
We're crying now.
Well, there's a couple. It leads to more questions. Yeah. How's the ass cancer? You're beating it?
Well, in jail they weren't treating me, so Dennis is in the process of right now.
Okay.
No, Dennis doesn't check my ass. He's got a doctor that.
Dennis, you got to check for the sores. You know that. You're responsible now, sir.
Be a friend.
Be a friend. What are you doing?
Give you latex gloves.
You want to see my ass?
We'll give you latex gloves, Dennis.
You tell me about Larry Gatlin, because I don't get that one.
Oh yeah, get Larry.
And still, after all this, he's got a great head of hair on him. Look at him.
You really do.
Yeah.
But are you okay health wise?
We don't know yet. I'm in the process. When we get back, it's time now that I have a PET scan, and they check it every 3 to 6 months. And then once I get a PET scan, and then it'll. Right now they found it's either a cyst or possible mass. It's very small, so I just hope to God that it hasn't gone to my liver, because then I might as well.
We're gonna get you laid.
Oh my God!
I haven't been laid in 6 months.
Oh man!
Oh my!
That's going to change soon, though.
This has been crazy.
Let's promote the book, because this is a fascinating dude, man. Behind the Candelabra. It's the same title as the film, but it's My Life with Liberace, and you're a really, really very forthcoming person. It's nice when you interview somebody, and there's not one time that you said, "Well, I don't want to," or "Gee, we shouldn't." It's nice to have somebody who just talks about everything.
Well, you know how I got that idea was that, I was sitting there
doing Liberace with a candelabra.
Yeah. Well, he always had a candelabra on that piano, and I says, "Hey, that's gonna be my title, Behind the Candelabra." Because he was a very private man, and nobody dared to go against him.
Right.
I want to get Chrissy on sometime. She's starting to do a thing. She's getting lots of letters from penitentiaries. I wanted to come on and read some of the letters. We'll do a call in or something.
That'd be cool.
They're just funny letters. We thought we want to. Come
I guess
on
they like you, huh?
They love her. What's not to love?
Yeah.
And I went to prison too. I forgot to tell you guys.
Wow.
With a preacher.
The prison story.
Yeah.
I went to work for the Mexican mafia cartel. I got caught with 5 pounds of meth, and I ended up in Corcoran State Prison. But that was right at the time when I signed the deal with Weintraub. So I went to prison with $50,000 on my trust account, inmate trust account. And I had a ball in prison. The best looking guys and talk about crooked is the Department of Corrections, because I bought all the drugs that I wanted.
So you had no problem getting drugs and
no, and they kept me. I kept Charlie Manson company. I can tell you stories about Charlie.
I heard he's crazy.
What do you mean? He's got to go.
He's
He's got a Charlie Manson story.
We're going to have him call in, because there's a ton of stories.
Fox,
John Stossel waiting for us in the studio.
Okay, man.
Roll over there.
Yeah, hey, thanks so much for coming in.
When I come back for book 2, we'll share Manson.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get some pictures. We're going to take a quick break.
Larry Gatlin.
Dennis Hoff, you're the fucking man. You already know that.
Good to see you.
He made this happen. Scott Thorson.
Fantastic, thanks.
The book Behind the Candelabra. My Life with Liberace. Holy fuck, what an hour.